Person 49. So I was so confused your whole reading. I had no clue what the symbology of the images were until I called down your higher self at the very end. So I'm going to give you the version that your higher self gave me. So as you enter onto the Rainbow Road, basically there's this huge mountain, and it's like a stone mountain, and I see your energy basically scaling down the side of this mountain, and you're very small on this mountain, and so you're almost like rock climbing, having to scale down to get to the Rainbow Road. And as you touch the base of the mountain and you turn around, I see you with like a number on your front, and like sweating, hair pulled back, and I feel like you're like one of those people in one of those like Iron Man races. I don't know if that's the right name of it, Iron Man, but where like people go in teams and they are in, the deserts or the mountains, and they have to try and do all these running, swimming, like climbing mountains, I don't know, surviving basically. And so I see you take off and you begin to run, but you're running in place, and you're running, and there's no finish line. And so I'm here, I'm super confused because I don't know if like you're this triathlete or but it's usually the symbology is not that easy. And so then you push on, and you start skipping now towards this, through the portal and towards this basket on like a zip line, and you jump into the basket, and I see it's like this super easy descent, and it's like this is another side of the mountain, but there's nothing around you, and you just jump in the basket, and this time you just fly down the side, and it's angled down. It's like you fly down all these stories, or all like a mile down to this stone outcropping, and you get out, and I didn't quite get that, but I felt that it was easy, and this was like an easy path, and you felt kind of like I could see you kind of enjoying the wind in your face. And so from here you get out, and now you walk, and you have this torch in your hand, and and all of a sudden all of these wolves start circling around you, and the wolves are like all baring their teeth and growling at you, and there's like 5 of these wolves that have circled now around you, and they start to like nip at your legs, and you're shooing them off with this fire. And I get that you feel trapped, and there's a lot of fear, and so from here then another kind of bridge appears to get you out of this. And so you move up the bridge, and then you get to this next zip line, and another zip line takes you now down in, and it's like you're moving through, and you're in a basket again, and you kind of move through these clouds, and then you get to this big tree, and there's this carved out kind of hole that you slide through the middle of this tree, and now you're on the other side of the tree, in between 2 huge massive trees, and just surrounded by forest. And in the middle of these trees, it's like almost like this, so it's almost like a tree fort, right? Something built up really high off the ground. We can't even see the ground, you're so high in this tree, but it's this like circular suspension disc kind of that's anchored in between these 2 trees. And it's huge. It's like as big as a, ballroom dance floor. And it's this like wooden sundial looking thing, and it has all these like magical symbols kind of carved into it. And I start to get that there's a connection to like the lunar cycles and the solar cycles. And so this just becomes this really sacred, magical space. And I see your energy like just melting kind of into this space. And so this is where I call down your higher self, because I'm like, I just have no clue. Help me. Somebody help me. Like, what's going on with all of these symbols? And so your higher self basically does say, this is her sacred space. This in nature, this is her sacred space. And this is where she needs to connect. And then they run me back and take me through the journey and say, basically, that you've chosen to experience life through paths that engage you, but it's so much more than engage. So think of the kind of person that would choose to do like Iron Man. So I feel like you have chosen a path in life that is the most challenging to, and it's not challenging, but it's like you want to push yourself as far as you can and have all of these experiences to truly live life to the fullest. So back to the mountain, and you scaling this mountain, and then when you get off the mountain and you get to the running part, and I talked to I know somebody who's like a triathlete, and they say, oh, the running part's the easy part. To me, that would like kill me. But they say, oh, the running part's the easy part. So then when you get to this running part, it's like there's no finish line. It's like you choose to continue to move through this energy of challenging yourself and pushing yourself. And so there's never a finish line. It's like the race is never going to end for you. It's this endless striving for that finish line, but the finish line is nowhere in sight. Like you, and I don't know if this is exciting to you if you hear this, or if this is devastating, but it's almost like your life is a constant scaling that mountain and getting off the mountain, and then getting onto another mountain, and scaling that one, and then getting off of it. And it's in the best of ways, because it's like you're honestly pushing yourself to these extremes to know yourself in this light. And so, no finish line. And then I see you skipping to this basket that's a zip line, which to me would be the easy path. And so I get that at the very end of the easy path, you're trapped by these wolves, right? And they're not going to let you go. And so I feel like this is another component of your personality, that if you were to ever choose that easy path or the free ride or whatever it is, that basically you would feel trapped, and like that almost you didn't earn it, and so it's going to be taken away from you, or it's not going to be that achievement. And that's where I get like these wolves are surrounding you, keeping you in this trap space. So, if you were to kind of cheat, quote unquote, and take this easy road, that's the energy that you would be engaged with. And then, and so your higher self is saying, that this is the path, basically like the lesson plan that she's chosen is to completely engage, and that your life is going to be a constant push to the next thing. And if you are somebody who's maybe right now seeking out that break or that easy path, it's like it's not gonna, if you were to take it, it's almost like you would hate yourself for taking it. That's the feeling I get in your energy. And your higher self basically said that this sanctuary, and now I'm back to that suspended platform that's between the two trees. And your higher self said, to continue the balanced energy, she needs to immerse herself into the energy of nature, that nature is going to be able to harmonize and keep you balanced. And if you can get yourself into nature, because I feel like nature is going to be the one thing that makes you feel like some of that competitive energy, or that constantly striving for the next achievement, the next success, or the next mountain. I think the nature is going to be what helps to keep you grounded through all of that energy that you tend to channel through you always. So that was basically the biggest message, is I think finding your sanctuary and being able to call upon that energy. And if you can visualize that, that place, that suspended kind of platform within the two big solid trees, where you're just kind of taking in the forest light, I think that's also a really powerful image, before you go to sleep or when you wake up. If you can hold that image, I think that would help to ground your energy and balance out some of that mental body that you've got going on. So with light and love.